Welcome back, everyone, to the next installment of Snatcher. We investigated rooms 1 and 2 in Queen's Hospital and actually had to fight a Snatcher. And this is just the beginning. You know it's going to get crazy from here. Let's go into the secret room number 3. The one so secret, it takes 2 Snatchers to open it. They really want this thing closed.
Aw, hell yeah. Door number 3. Are you ready, Random? Let's have a look at the last room. It says it just like that, guys.
Just like that. That's how I would have done it.
Love that. Anticipation. Hide your loading time.
Whoa! Wow!
Good God!
Jesus.
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's their morgue.
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatched from places like Outer Heaven.
They probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver. They must have gone after him not because of who he was, but what he did.
Nice.
After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about Outer Heaven, Plato's Cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
Wow. And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies were, then we just nailed 4 Snatchers.
That's true.
Keep in mind, guys, that this is a lot of the investigation is really done in this game now. It's all info dump from here, pretty much.
Yeah, that is true. Although we have a little bit to do. Look around the room. Yes, smell. Gotta help you.
Yeah. Ugh, what a terrible smell.
Yeah, alright, look around the room. It appears to have been a proper morgue at one time, but now it's being used as little more than a closet. Sure enough.
Wall?
Yep. Ventilation duct. Interesting.
Remains.
It remains. This, oh boy. Oh god.
Ugh.
One of the bodies is still decomposing. The other 3 are little more than skeletons. Ugh. Keep looking at the other thing, the duct. A cover on the duct has been weakened by oxidation. So that might be a little hint for later. Investigate the remains. Stop it. A number of different insect larvae have infected the body. It hasn't been well preserved, to say the least. But it's definitely a human body. Yeah, around the room might as well. Oh, that's my time. The insects infesting the decomposing body can be divided into 8 large groups. Each of these groups works on the body for roughly 15 days, making an 8 by 15 day or 4-month cycle.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is how forensics investigators work with insect cycles, because the reproductive cycles are so fast compared to humans. As such, an analysis of the variety, number, and size of the organisms in the body allows a rather accurate estimation of which group is currently present.
In other words, you can figure out how long a victim's been dead without analyzing the body itself, right?
On this particular body, flies have laid eggs and the maggots have grown into adult flies, so it's been less than 30 days since death. As for the other 3 bodies, 1 full cycle has been completed, so at least 4 months have passed.
Yeah, this is prime example why I really love Japanese visual novels. You know, this really detailed technical data is so great for describing these worlds that they're in.
Alright, now, investigate cause of death. Spoilers, Snatcher.
Can you determine the cause of death? Being dead.
Yeah. The bodies are severely damaged. Such a determination would require more extensive facilities than are available here. Identity?
What about the identity of the victims?
Hair, clothing, even teeth, anything that could be used to make an identification is gone. Except for those teeth.
Damn Snatchers. They were careful to make sure their identities didn't get out. If we even had some teeth, maybe we might be able to make an ID.
Like those teeth? Okay. What about these teeth here? They've been deliberately misaligned. Wow! To prevent identification.
Wow. Then I guess we'll never be able to ID them.
These guys are thorough. There is a way.
What? How? DNA?
We can perform a simulated reconstruction. Fortunately, the skulls of the victims are still intact. Reconstruction, eh? Good idea.
Great idea.
Reconstruct corpse.
Sounds gross. Metal, let's do this reconstruction thing on the bodies. Minigame?
No.
Now performing simulated reconstruction of the head and facial features of each of the 4 victims. Commencing with victim number 1.
This tune.
Now performing craniometric analysis. X-ray and sagittal X-ray, magnetic resonance imaging, and positron CT data gathered. Complete cranial data now being compiled. Craniometric analysis
So
complete.
cool.
Now
Yeah.
commencing reconstruction. First, victim's age. Estimate based on 1. Presence or absence of cranial fontanelles and chroma of epicranial sutures. 2. Area of facial region and cranium. 3. Height of upper and lower jaw and development of alveolar part. And 4.
So cool.
Location of cranial center of gravity.
Back then, this looked so awesome, and it still
Estimate
does.
based on 1.
The
Overall
art
size
style.
of cranium. 2. Parietal bone angle. And 3. Development of splachnocranium. Lastly, victim's race. Estimate based on 1. Overall cranial configuration. 2. Volume of intracranial cavity. And 3. Mass of the skull. Now commencing soft feature reconstruction based on average results of above analysis.
Damn.
Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values.
Not bad.
Now adding postulated hair and eye features.
Oh, wow.
Reconstruction of head of first victim completed.
It's Freddie Nielsen.
Wow.
Moving on to second victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 2.
This is awesome.
Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the
I
same
love-
techniques as
I
the
love the
previous
weight.
reconstruction.
Is there, are
Maybe
those
go
different
for
skulls
Craniometric
too?
analysis complete.
I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure.
Now commencing reconstruction
I bet they
using
are,
the same
though.
Well, this is
techniques
the
as
same.
previous reconstruction. Reconstruction.
Is that Lisa?
Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features.
Yeah.
Reconstruction of head of second victim
It's
completed.
Lisa.
That's
Oh.
Lisa Nielsen.
Moving on to third victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 3.
Of course, these are all going to be people that we recognize except for the last one.
Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction.
He's keeping
Craniometric
ahead.
analysis
Yeah.
complete.
Still some anticipation
Commencing
involved here.
reconstruction
Yeah.
using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features.
It is that guy.
Reconstruction of head of third victim completed.
Who in the world is that?
That's the director of Queen's Hospital. Shin Fui, what's his face?
Wow.
Chin Shu Gilliam. Moving on to last victim.
Shoot.
Now commencing
What's his
reconstruction of
face?
features of victim number 4.
This one's the most recent.
The skull shapes are all the same, but the damage around them
Now
is
starting
different.
craniometric
Yeah.
analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using
Different
the same
time
techniques
periods.
as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous
This will be a surprise,
reconstruction.
probably.
Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction
The
of head
chief?
of final victim
Yep.
completed.
Oh god.
It's the chief.
What?
That sucks.
I bet that clears
Chief is a
Harry now,
Snatcher.
too.
The
Yeah.
Benson on the scrap of that patient record was Benson Cunningham.
Judging from the condition of the body, I would
Brutal.
estimate that the snatching took place approximately 1 month ago.
So it was the chief who sabotaged our turbo cycle. In those matches we found in Harry's room, the chief must have put them there to try to set him up.
What a dick.
No doubt Harry figured it out and decided to leave that face-to-face message. Wait a minute. Didn't Mika say that Harry had left to go find the chief?
That's right. He was probably trying to track down some evidence on the chief.
Gillian, I'd say that this Harry has put himself in a pretty dangerous spot.
If it was the chief that sabotaged the turbo cycle, doesn't that mean that he already knows we're onto him?
Damn! Harry and Mika are in danger!
That's awful.
That's far enough, Junker. Your little investigation is